Hello and welcome to Gospel Greetings number 14. You'll remember that last week we talked about looking forward and looking up from Philippians 3 instead of looking down and looking back. And this week we're going to talk about rejoicing in the Lord. We're moving on to Philippians 4, verses 4 and 5, and they say, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near." Rejoice in the Lord. We're to celebrate him, for he is near. He came to earth to save us, lives in us by his Spirit, and he's coming soon. This is not rejoicing in our circumstances, our health, or our bank account. Why, they always change, and we know that they'll ultimately let us down. Here, a pastor named Thomas Chalmers may be of help to us. He was a pastor and the first moderator of the Free Church of Scotland. He spoke in a famous sermon called The Expulsive Power of a New Affection about something called expulsive replacement rejoicing in Jesus. Expulsive replacement rejoicing in Jesus. He said the human heart will always have an object of utmost love. Trying to rebuke the object of love or remove it with moralism, the law, or fear, it's fruitless, he said. It can't be attacked or cut away. It must be replaced. For example, your teenage son is addicted to video games, wastes all his time, and you fear for his future. His heart idolizes pleasure. Then suddenly he throws himself into his studies and gets good grades. You see, he realized that all these TVs and computers are expensive. He wants to make money. So he does well in school and gets a great job. His heart idolizes wealth. Once well off financially, he throws himself into city politics and becomes a counselor. His overriding affection is now power. During these transformations, his heart always had an object of utmost affection. His heart's desire for one particular object was conquered and replaced, but his heart's desire for having some object or other to long for was unconquerable, and so is ours. We can't separate ourselves from our desires. We can only replace them, but the replacement must be of a stronger and more powerful preference. The human heart is so grasping that it must have something to hold on to. Now we see that only by replacing our worldly affections, our idols, our obsessions with our love for Jesus can we really be filled with joy and cheerfulness. This is why I started with Philippians 4 and these two verses in particular. Rejoice in the Lord. He is near. It's not enough to understand and talk down the worthlessness of the world and money as an ultimate goal. We can know all that, but we must celebrate and value the worth of the things of God. Celebrate his character, his love, his holiness. Now we see the expulsive power of a new affection. This great love for God becomes our overriding affection and drives out all other affections that pale in comparison. This makes us calm, gentle, and clear-minded, even in the middle of trials. Then our gentleness really is evident to all. Again, guys, only by replacing our affections, our idols, our obsessions with our celebrating love for Jesus can we really be filled with joy and cheerfulness. What's your overriding affection today? Next week, we'll talk about overcoming anxiety, but let's rejoice this week.